Hi guys, today we're taking a look at the Sony Vaio. This is a T15 series. Brand new, they're calling it an Ultrabook. It's just a laptop. As far as I'm concerned, it's a Vaio laptop. Ultrabook, when I think of Ultrabook, I think of the real skinny type, well, like a MacBook Air. That, to me, that's an Ultrabook. Only that's a Mac, I know. It's got the, it's a very nice, beautiful computer. I really fell in love with the looks of it. Aesthetics aren't 100% with me, but I'm like everybody on the planet. I like pretty things, you know. I like pretty computers and I like pretty women. But it comes with several ports, which I liked. It's got two. Let's start with the DVD-ROM, DVD drive on the right side. Two 2.0 USB ports on the right side. Let's see, on the left-hand side, we have. This I'm not crazy about. It's a separate, it's combined rather, microphone and headphone port, which I mean that's fine, I guess. They probably have some proprietary items that they like to sell for this, but microphone, headphone port, HDMI port, which I really, you know, gotta have that now. It's modern times. VGA port, which not real sure why computer companies still do that. To be honest with you, I mean I'm glad it's there, but I'll probably never use it. Ethernet, was it gigabit port, I think is what they call it. It's the Ethernet port. And this is something I really like. It's the USB 3.0 USB port. And if you notice, it's got a little lightning bolt on it. You can turn it on to where even when the laptop is off, you can use the battery of the laptop to charge devices such as your cell phone, your iPhone, or your Android device, your Google. And this is the charge outlet. It is a very nice looking computer. It is reminiscent of a MacBook, no question, but truthfully I honestly like it better. I think it's prettier. But not that again, aesthetics shouldn't really matter. Okay. The reason I purchased this instead of a MacBook, I was looking at a 13.3 inch MacBook Pro, and with the student discount, believe it or not, I'm in school. With the student discount, I could get it for actually less than this because Best Buy didn't offer any discount on this, whereas the MacBook Pro was $200 off. But basically, the smaller computer with considerably less power was the same as this, and I kept. Battery life is you know, important to me, and I know people who have the MacBook Pro and like, my God, the battery just lasts for 6 hours, you know, which is fantastic. Salesperson, sales girl, sales lady, salesperson kind of sold me on the 15 inch. I was wanting a 13 or a 14 incher, but I'm used to this, the 17 inch HP I have, which has been a good computer. It's an i3 core processor, Intel processor, and I don't really have any complaints other than the fact that it's huge and it's just too heavy and too bulky to carry. And that was the point of dropping down in size, was so that it would, you know, fit in my backpack better. And I would always have it with me, and plus you don't look like that. You don't stand out in the class when you pull a computer out that's, you know, the size of your most people's televisions. But for the same amount of money, I could have, like I said, I got the MacBook Pro. But this computer has about twice the specs of a MacBook Pro. This one has it is a Intel Core i7 dual core processor. It has 8 gigs of RAM, which I don't think it's expandable. I believe 8 gigs is full on both bays. It has a terabyte hard drive, which, you know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1,000 gigabytes. I guess 1,000 gigs is a terabyte, and a 24 gigabyte SSD drive, which means it has 24 gigs of flash memory, which is fast. I'll leave it in anything else, and I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's got like 2 gigs of dedicated graphics memory. good computer, fast computer, powerful computer. Let's see how you do need two hands to open it, which kind of sucks. Boom! It's already on. The Windows 8 does take some getting used to. I'll be the first one to admit it. But once you get used to it, it's zippy. It is zippy. The computer itself, fast, zippy. It does what it needs to do. No question about it. I don't think there's much I can throw at it that, well, in particular, what I do. I mean, honestly, not a lot of graphics will be used with me. I do occasionally play some games, which is good. I mean, this is good to go as far as for games. My one complaint about it, one thing that I really love about the MacBooks, and again, I want to emphasize, I am not a fanboy either way. It's like if a company makes a product that I like and I'm happy with, that's what I'll fall in love with. But if it has flaws, I'll point them out, even if I own the product. And I just have bought this one. But one thing I really like about the MacBook Pro line is, and it's not that big a deal, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. But it's a quality issue, and it's the cameras. The camera on the MacBook Pro is a really nice, the quality of the video is worthy, of. It's just nice, high definition. This has got a 1.3 megapixel, which you barely can make it out here. 1.3 megapixel, 720p, supposedly 720p camera. Okay, that's fine, and it's probably something I will never use for the life of the computer, or rarely use. Well, I'm going to use it in just a second. But one thing that I have noticed is grainy. Low light conditions, it's horrible. I mean, it just, and it honestly doesn't even look like a 720p. And for some odd reason that is beyond me, Sony, I'm assuming that the microphone is down here in front somewhere, and honestly it should have been placed in the back, and it may be, but it picks up this horrible fan noise, and it's irritating, to be quite honest, and it's subpar. Let's put it that way. I'll throw some video on. I'm going to do it as we speak. What I'm talking. So it's just not. It's not a quality. It's not very high quality. I mean, you can get around it with a Bluetooth headset or just a plug-in microphone. But I don't really think you should have to. And I think the quality of the video should be better. It's supposed to be high def. It doesn't really look high def to me. And the sound is horrible. You guys can't. I liken it to, if I were on a jet plane and that sound was in the background, I think, well, I know what it is. But there's no reason for that. No reason at all. And why would you take a product that's supposed to be a high quality product, and send it out with a subpar attachment? It just, to me, I don't understand. I mean, I understand it. It's about, the almighty dollar, but in the long run, it's going to hurt you. That's why Mac does so well, even charging twice the amount of money for half the specs, because they're good solid specs, and it's a good solid machine. And don't get me wrong, I like this computer. It's just the little quirks, the little things that most definitely should have been fixed in the production. But you can understand what I'm talking about. It's just not. It's not a quality. It's not very high quality. I mean, you can get around it with a Bluetooth headset or just a plug-in microphone. But I don't really think you should have to. And I think the quality of the video should be better. It's supposed to be high def. It doesn't really look high def to me. And the sound is horrible. You guys can't. I liken it to, if I were on a jet plane and that sound was in the background, I think, well, I know what it is. But there's no reason for that. No reason at all. And why would you Why would you take a product that's supposed to be a high quality product, and send it out with a subpar attachment? It just, to me, I don't understand. I mean, I understand it. It's about, you know, the almighty dollar, but in the long run, it's going to hurt you. That's why Mac is. That's why Mac does so well, even charging twice the amount of money for half the specs, because they're good solid specs and it's a good solid machine. And don't get me wrong, I like this computer. It's just the little quirks, the little things that most definitely should have been fixed in the production weren't. And it's like, why? Why would you send out a computer that has flaws in it that people will complain about, like myself? And like I said, I'm no fanboy of any one certain brand. It's like, if it's a good quality product, I'll say it's a good quality product. Other than that, I think the Vaio T series, personally, I think it will be an awesome computer, and I'll love it. But little things, you have to think, if they didn't think about that, what else? If they didn't put thought into the making of that, what else didn't they put thought into? And that's one thing about when you pick up some computers. I'm not going to use the name anymore. The heft and the feel and the quality, you can feel it and you can see it when you use it. Windows 8, the verdict is still out. The verdict is still not in on it, to be honest with you. Some of the gestures and everything I'm getting down, and I'm starting to think I might like it. It might be okay. I noticed a lot of people, in particular people of my age, they're not used to the new stuff. The Windows, they're used to Windows, and anything that even remotely is different from the original Windows is like, oh, man, I can't figure this out. But this is not, it's not rocket science. It's easy. It's not as simple, and it's not as easy to use as the OS X software, which is, you know, flawless in my personal opinion. It works flawlessly. But this is, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be happy with this. Put it that way. Again, this is the Sony Vaio T series, and your recommendations. I'm sure there probably are some tweaks to get around the noise, the fan noise, and the microphone, other than using an external mic. And there may even be some tweaks with the camera. It's just, when you buy a product, you shouldn't have to tweak it. Me personally, that's my feeling. I mean, when you pay that much money for something, you shouldn't have to fool around with it. You shouldn't have to mess with the settings. It should come preset to work as flawlessly as it possibly can, as flawlessly as the hardware can. And it's not cutting it, man. But again, I digress.